Hi everyone, my name is Karen. This is my channel Rather Be Reading, and today I'm bringing to you my May TBR. I have been having a pretty good reading year so far, with the exception of February. So let's hope that I can keep that going. I'm just really happy with how my reading's going so far. So just trying to, especially this past week or so, I've been spending so much read. So hopefully we can carry that through into May. So let's just jump straight into the books. We will, as always, start off with the library books that I'm hoping to pick up this month. I don't have any library due dates. My library has now extended all due dates to 1 July. So I don't technically have anything that's due, but I still have a big pile of library books. I've got 4 here that are going to be my main focus this month to get through. So the first one that I have is Arcana Rising by Cressley Cole. This is the 4th book in the Arcana Chronicles. I've mentioned this quite a few times on my channel now. This is a YA, like kind of paranormal, post-apocalyptic, where there are 22 people who each embody a different one of the major arcana from the tarot. And it's all about kind of a big battle to the death where one has to be the last arcana standing, basically, in this like kind of post-apocalyptic setting. I have read obviously the first 3 and a novella, and this is the 4th book. As I've mentioned, my library doesn't actually have the 5th and final book, so I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this series, but I'm going to at least read this next one that I have and then worry about getting the last one when the time comes. So I've got that. I then have another series continuation, Top Secret 21 by Janet Ivanovich. It's funny because I was actually out today and I saw at the store that I was in, they had book 26 in this series on the shelf. So I'm getting close to the end of this, but as you guys all know, I'm basically still reading this series. Not that I hate it. I don't hate it. It's enjoyable enough, but they're just like kind of 3.5 at the most star books. But there's a love triangle and it's still not resolved and I need to know how it ends. So this is a chick lit series. It's about a bounty hunter named Stephanie Plum who is not the greatest bounty hunter, and she gets into a lot of shenanigans in the course of trying to do her job. And this is the next one that I have to read, so I'm going to get to that this month. Next, I have a very small book, which is The Small Hand by Susan Hill. It just says on the front, a ghost story, and I had a quick skim of the synopsis, and I think it's got to do with a child ghost, which is very creepy. This is a really short little book. Like, I don't know if it's like a short story or it's like 160 pages, but it sounds very creepy, and I haven't read any Susan Hill, so I'm looking forward to getting to this. And then the final book that I have from the library is Tease by Amanda Maciel. So I had no idea what this was about. This is one that I picked up because it completes one of my goals for the year. And I had just read the synopsis prior to filming this and was like, oh, this sounds like it could be this. Oh boy, does this have a lot of cat hair on it. It could be really depressing. It seems to be about a girl who has taken her own life, and we're following a character who has been charged along with, I think, a couple of her friends for bullying or teasing that classmate, which has resulted in her suicide. So that sounds like it could be a very, very difficult read. So very interested to see how this tackles that subject matter. So that's it. Those are the 4 library books. Like I said, I'm actually kind of hoping to maybe get through a few more library books, but they're the main focus this month. Now let's move on to the books from my physical TBR shelves. So the very first one that I have is The Lie by C.L. Taylor. I'm not going to say that I may have already finished this month, but maybe I have. This is a thriller. I have read Sleep by C.L. Taylor, and I bought this ages ago because it was on. I remember when I got this, I was buying books for my birthday like years ago, and this was in a sale section on the Book Depository website, and it was like $6 or something like that. And so I grabbed this, and finally planning to read it this month. The next one that I have from my physical TBR is The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I'm actually going to be doing a buddy read of this month with Chloe from Always Booked. Chloe has been doing, I've done a few buddy reads with her recently. Chloe has been using buddy reads as a way to get herself through the self-isolation blues. And I have a great time buddy reading with her. So this is the next one that we're going to buddy read. This is a YA contemporary. I believe it's about a girl who has a very like planned out life and everything kind of goes by the book. But then her dad, I think he's involved in politics and he has some kind of scandal. And that throws her whole summer into it throws it out of whack. I can't think of the phrase that I was planning to use there. Anyway, and this is about that, and I believe she becomes a dog walker because this copy has some cute little doggies on the front. So I think this is going to be fun. I have enjoyed, I don't think I've rated a Morgan Matson book below a 4.5. I really enjoy her writing, so looking forward to getting to this one and looking forward to buddy reading it with Chloe. Next, I have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. This is a literary story, which I believe it has a mystery. I'm not even sure if it's actually a mystery, or maybe it's just, it's a story around death, but whether there's a mystery to it, I'm not sure. It's about a Chinese American family in the 1970s who live in a small town in Ohio, and the daughter, I don't know if she's the favorite child of the family, and she is found dead in a lake. And I don't know if we know if it's a suicide or if it's a murder or if it's accidental or what, but I think it's all about how that death impacts the different family members. So I've heard very good things about this. I haven't read a Celeste Ng yet, so looking forward to getting to that one. I then have In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I'm really excited to get to this. I have wanted to read all of Ruth Ware for like years. And this is the first one of hers that I ever picked up, and I'm finally going to get to it. I know that this one has pretty like mixed to poor reviews, but I'm looking forward to reading all of her books, hopefully in publication order, and kind of seeing the progression of her writing. And this one has a fun premise. I believe it's about a woman who is invited to like a hens, or we say hens. What? That's not what Americans say. What are they? Oh, bachelorette, like a hen/bachelorette party. But she hasn't had any, like, it's a girl that she went to high school with, I think, but she hasn't had any contact with her for years. So I think it's a bit odd that she's invited, but she goes along. Then I think some creepy shit starts to go down in the woods where they're staying. And I love a thriller set in some creepy woods. So looking forward to getting to that. And then, also planning to get to Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. This I'm really looking forward to because, as I mentioned in a recent video, Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So really looking forward to getting to this. This is set in, well, it's not set, like it was written in. When was this published? Let me check. Where? In the 60s. So it was written in 1967. And it's set in this couple, young couple, who've been married a couple of years, move into this new apartment building in New York City, and the female becomes pregnant, and she starts to feel like there's some weird stuff going down with some occupants in this hotel, in the apartment building where she's living, and it all kind of goes from there. Like I said, I really love this movie, so really looking forward to getting to that. So they're the ones that I officially have on the TBR. Let's move on to the TBR teacup, my favorite time of the month. I do have my spreadsheet here because, like I said, I've read a lot of my challenges so far, so I'm definitely probably going to have to refer to the spreadsheet to check whether I've managed to complete this challenge yet. But let us pull from the teacup. Let me just give them a bit of a mix up, and then let's pull one out. All right, we're going with this one. Let's see what it is. Okay. The book that came out is Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple, which was for the challenge of read a book that was nominated for one of the 10 most coveted literary prizes in the world. And I put this one down because it was nominated for the Women's Prize in 2013, but I think I've completed this challenge. So let me just refer to my spreadsheet and I'll come back to you. I have completed this challenge. I actually just completed it in April, so I don't know why I had to check that, but I have completed this. So let's go back to the drawing board. It's one less in the cup, which is good. Go with this one instead. Hopefully I don't have to pull too many of these till I get to one that I actually do need to read. Oh, I definitely will have to read this one because I can tell because they're written in different colors. This one isn't actually for the challenge. This must be one of the ones that I need to read for my other two goals, which is to read the oldest books that I have on my Goodreads TBR and the oldest books that I have on like my physical TBR. So let's see which one it is. Okay. I'm excited. It's The Stolen Songbird by Danielle Jensen. This is a book that wasn't popular. It was like, I feel like it's kind of underhyped. I shouldn't say underhyped because I don't know if it's any good yet, but I heard a few people talking about it back in the day, but the few people who did talk about it made it sound really, really intriguing. So I'm really looking forward to getting to it because it's a book about trolls. Having said that, I have already read a book. It's funny because I don't think I'd ever read about trolls until this year. And then I read the Trill Trilogy by Amanda Hocking earlier this year. and that's about trolls, and I really didn't like that trilogy, but I think I'm really gonna like this one, and I do own the whole trilogy. So I will be reading Stolen Songbird by Danielle Jensen as well this month. I'm really excited that I got that one. Okay, so that's that. Now let's move on to the ebooks that I need to get to this month. So I have 4 ebooks that I need to get to this month, and they're actually all NetGalley arcs. The first one is actually a NetGalley arc that was published in April. Because as you know, I try to read the ones that come out in that month, within that month. But you guys will know if you use NetGalley, but if you don't, your shelf where all of the books that you've been approved for, it gets separated into current and older than 3 months. As in, you've been approved for it more than 3 months ago. And I had a bunch that moved over to that older than 3 month shelf, and I didn't realize, and I hadn't checked that older than 3 month shelf last month when I did my TBR, and it wasn't until like literally, I think like the last day in April, I was on NetGalley, and I was like, oh, crapola. There was a book that was published in April that had fallen onto that I missed. Anyway, long story short, I will be reading The Secrets They Left Behind by Lissa Marie Redmond. So this one has a published date of April 7th. Like I said, this one's already come out. This is a thriller. It's about a small town in New York State where there are 3 girls who just go missing. 3 teenage. Are they teenage? I think they're around like 18. They're in they're freshmen in college, and they were at a party, and they have left the party, and they go to one of the girls' houses, and then they're just never seen again, all 3 of them. No one knows what happened to them. And we're following a police detective who, she's 23, but she looks really young, and she is tasked to go undercover as a freshman in college to make friends with the people that these girls were friends with and try and find out what happened. So that one I will be reading. The next NetGalley arc I have is Last Girls by Demetra Brodsky. This one has a published date of May 5th. This one, I'm really vague on what it exactly is about, because it shows as a contemporary, but it's about a bunch of sisters who live on some kind of compound, and then it seems like they're training for like the end of days, but then it says that it's about a risk from within the compound. So I'm not really exactly clear on what it's about, but it just gives me vibes like it's going to be the type of read that I will really enjoy. But I don't really know too much about what it's about, but I am planning to read that one this month. The next one I have from NetGalley this month is Who We Were by B.M. Carroll. This one has a published date of the 7th of May. This one is an adult thriller, and all I know about this one is that it's about a high school reunion and all the secrets that come up from what happened when they were back in high school. You guys know one of my favorite thriller tropes is the whole, oh, something happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and now the secrets are coming up and we've got to figure out what happened. I'm into that. So I'm looking forward to getting to that one. And then the final one from NetGalley this month, which I'm most excited about, is What Lies Between Us by John Mars, which has a published date of the 15th of May. And I believe that I will be buddy reading this one with Michelle. Michelle, I think we talked about buddy reading this one. Hit me up in the comments. I think we were going to buddy read this one. And this one, I'm going to read you a little snippet of the synopsis from Goodreads, because this book sounds freaking creepy. So bear with me. So I'm not going to read you the whole synopsis. I'll read you the couple of first 2 paragraphs, which is the bit that really drew me in. So it says, they say every house has its secrets, and the house that Maggie and Nina have shared for so long is no different, except that these secrets are not buried in the past. Every other night, Maggie and Nina have dinner together. When they are finished, Nina helps Maggie to her room in the attic and into the heavy chains that keep her there. Because Maggie has done things to Nina that can't ever be forgiven, and now she is paying the price. What? That sounds incredible and so creepy. And John Mars is an author who's kind of blown up a bit recently, has become really popular with his story, The One, and I've heard quite a few people talk about The Passengers, and I haven't read anything by him yet. But when I saw this one on NetGalley, I was so excited to be approved for it. So really looking forward to getting to that one this month. Like I said, Michelle, I think we're buddy reading. Let me know. And then finally, to talk about the audiobooks that I'm hoping to get to this month. So the first audiobook I'm hoping to get to is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. This is, of course, the next book in the Harry Potter series that I need to reread, because I've read this series a million times, but I'm doing a new new reread, but this time on audio, because I've never experienced the audiobooks before, so looking forward to getting to that. Next, I have Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This I've wanted to read for ages, and I was actually holding out, hoping that my library would get this in on audio, because I really wanted to listen to the audio, because I believe Chanel Miller narrates this herself. Chanel Miller, if you don't know, is a woman who there was a very big rape trial to do with a man named Brock Turner who raped Chanel and got a very, very light sentence due to him being a sports star at his college. It was a huge deal at the time when this all went down. And Chanel Miller, up until the point of him being given a really light sentence, had remained anonymous, but decided to come out after that with her name to tell her story at the hopes of, you know, I think shining a light on these really light sentences and how ridiculous it is. I've really been interested to read this one, and like I said, I was really hoping that my library was going to get it on audio, and they finally did just a few days ago. And as soon as I saw it, not a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, as soon as I saw it, I put it on hold, and my hold has come in, so I'm really looking forward to getting to that one. The next one I have is Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. This one, I'm not exactly sure exactly what it's about. I read One of Us is Lying. I think it was One of Us is Lying a while ago, and I really enjoyed it. But I think I had a NetGalley arc of that, so I read it early, and then there were a lot more reviews that came out, and it highlighted that there was quite a problematic part of that story that I just kind of glossed over in my mind. So I was a bit like, ugh, when thinking back on it. But I want to give this one a go. I can't remember. There is one I think that's a sequel to that one, and I'm not sure if it's this book or if this one's a standalone. Either way, I'm going to give this one a go on audio. And the final audiobook that I'm hoping to get to is The Interestings by Meg Wolitzer. You guys may recall that I actually started this back in April, but I ended up putting it on the back burner because I couldn't concentrate on it. And so I'm going to try again with that one, give that one a last shot in May and see whether I can get through that or whether that ends up being a DNF maybe. Who knows? I'm going to restart over it completely from the beginning because I was really struggling to get through that one. So that is the 4 audiobooks that I'm going to get to. So that's it. That is everything on my TBR. I'm really excited about a lot of the books that I have to read this month. I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, if you've got any thoughts on them, or if you want to tell me what you guys are planning to get to this month. I would love to know. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. That is all I have for this video today. Bye guys.